You cannot escape your destiny. Like a lotus flower floating on the river, you might wind and wander in the current, but you will always flow to the same destination. Beside the river Yamuna stood a palace, the stronghold of an evil king called Khans. Khans looked human, but demon blood ran in his veins. His half-sister Devaki was fully human and knew nothing of Khan's evil ways. She was kind, beautiful, and of an age to marry. Khans was careful to keep up appearances in front of his court and arranged a suitable match for her. So Devaki was engaged to Vasudev, a handsome young man from the kingdom which lay on the other side of the river. Khans gave the happy couple a lavish wedding. But just as they were pronounced man and wife, a voice from heaven reverberated through the palace. "Hear us, Khans. Your evil threatens to tip the world into chaos. Devaki's son is destined to kill you, and balance will be restored to the universe." All eyes were on Khans. Just kill Devaki, and the son would never be born. But he could hardly murder the princess in front of 1,000 witnesses. So he veiled his anger. The guests left as soon as they could, and Khans threw Devaki and Vasudev into a dungeon beneath the palace, where they lived a life of cold misery, with only each other for comfort. One day, a guard reported that Devaki was having a baby. Khans clattered down steps and along dark passages to the dungeon. Devaki's screams echoed throughout the palace as Khans tore the child from her arms and killed him. The following year, Devaki gave birth to another boy. She barely had time to kiss his downy head before Khan's cold shadow fell over them. 7 sons were born and 7 sons were slain, but soon Devaki was pregnant once more. All Khans had to do was wait. He didn't care how much blood stained his hands, as long as he stayed one step ahead of destiny. The monsoon came and brought night after night of heavy rains that swept across the sky and lashed the palace walls. Even in their dungeon, Devaki and Vasudev could hear the storm outside. And so it was that one dark night their 8th son was born without the guards heeding his cries. Devaki held him close and whispered his name, Krishna. The dungeon was filled with light and warmth and scent of flowers. A voice spoke, murmuring from the very air around them. Krishna is no ordinary baby. He is God in human form. He must be hidden from Khans until the time comes for him to fulfill his destiny. Vasudev, take Krishna to your sister. She will care for him and keep him safe. Return here with her newborn daughter, and she will come to no harm. As the light faded, the lock on the dungeon door clicked open. Vasudev lay Krishna in an old basket and carried him past sleeping guards out of the palace and down to the river. Vasudev's sister lived on the other side, and he would have to wade across. But the river was swollen with rain. Holding Krishna above his head, Vasudev strode into the flood. The water was soon up to his waist. Every step felt heavier, but he forged on. Then the water was up to his chest, then up to his nose. He was finding it hard to breathe, and he wasn't even halfway across. He would have to turn back. But then Krishna's little feet touched the water. Immediately there was a gust of wind, and with a whoosh the river parted. Then there was a hissing behind them, and suddenly the rain seemed to stop. Vasudev looked up. Shishanaga, lord of the snakes, was sheltering Krishna with the hoods of his many heads. Vasudev made it to the other side of the river and hurried to his sister's house. He tiptoed in and found Yashoda sleeping peacefully with her newborn daughter close by. He gently laid his son down and picked up his niece. She opened her eyes and looked at him with complete trust. The voice had promised that the child would come to no harm, and Krishna had to fulfill his destiny. It was the only way. The storm blew itself out in the night, and the guards woke to find Vasudev and Devaki and a newborn baby safely locked in their dungeon. Khans burst in and seized the baby. Vasudev cried out, "What harm could a girl do? The prophecy spoke of a son, not a daughter." But Khans was taking no chances. Suddenly, the child flew from his hands and with a flash of pure energy transformed into Mahamaya, the mother goddess. "You can't kill me, Khans. I am the power through which the universe was created, and you cannot escape your destiny. Devaki's son lives, and one day he will destroy you." And with another flash, the goddess disappeared. Khan's roar of fury shook the palace. The whole kingdom felt his wrath. Guards were sent out into every town and village, and every newborn baby was slaughtered. But across the river, Krishna was safe in Yashoda's arms. You cannot escape your destiny. Like a lotus flower floating on the river, you might wind and wander in the current, but you will always flow to the same destination.